Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first stop on the ASTRHO Road Show Series. This is Michigan, so we're excited to be joined today by a few folks from Michigan to help us really dive deep on what's happening in the state. So our partner on this, our corporate partner is Vrolio, and we also have Larry from ASTRHO. Larry, I don't know if you want to raise your hand or just say hi quickly. And then Melissa from Vrolio. I'll let you, Melissa, say a little bit about Vrolio and actually the company overall.
Sure. Vrolio is a marketplace that connects buyers and sellers of vacation rentals. And our goal is just to be one place where vacation rental owners can list their properties, and also where we can connect buyers with agents that are in vacation rental markets. And so just our goal is to be the one marketplace for the buyers and sellers in vacation rental homes.
And you have a strong presence in Michigan, but do many other markets as well. Just wanted to call that out.
Oh yeah, across the nation. Vrolio works across the nation. So,
and then we have Sarah, who's a seasoned homeowner in Michigan, and we'll dive in with her in a moment. And then Ryan, who's actually an award-winning real estate agent in Michigan. Mm-hmm. So we'll be talking to him and getting his point of view and perspective here shortly. But we're going to start by just giving a little overview of ASTRHO and who we are, and the Association for Short-Term Rental Homeowners, and our big purpose and mission. So I think you can see my screen okay. Just want to make sure. Larry, are you good? Can you verify? Can we see everything okay?
Yeah.
Great, thanks. So in this quick 30 minutes, we'll go through the intro, state of the market. In partnership with AirDNA, we have some updated data on just all the great momentum and strong actually performance of short-term rental in Michigan. Then we're going to talk to Sarah, talk to Ryan, and we'll close it out. And this will be recorded, so for anyone who's missed it, we'll be able to share the recording from here. So this is our team. Together, we have over 50 years of lodging industry experience. We run the gamut from the short-term rental side, from running our own homes to working with the technology providers and connectivity in the short-term rental space. And we started ASTRHO because we recognized the problem of the fragmented information on social media. There is no place where all experts come together to produce education and material to support professional development for homeowners. So we think of homeowners as those looking to invest, kind of three buckets: wanting to help people make investment decisions, those running the home themselves, and those that have the investment property but need help picking the right management company to take care of their home. So our goal is to help homeowners of all short-term rentals, regardless of kind of where they are in the stage of ownership. And we're looking at through the lens of the overall industry with these three main trends. So 50% of all homes are self-managed. And we've actually seen different numbers. This stat here shows us, it talks about the $10 million global market size, how many homes are self-managed globally. There have been other numbers recently as high as 27 million homes managed globally. And that technology advances are making it easier for folks to do this themselves as a side hustle or as a main hustle by owning multiple homes and running it themselves. Then I'll go clockwise here, increasing brand opportunities. We're also seeing, for example, Marriott Homes and Villas wanting to get into the space and realizing that this type of inventory is becoming more and more appealing across self-managed, but then as well as branded. The third trend, increasing consumer demand. And this was accelerated beyond, I think, anyone's expectations with COVID, not only from a social distancing benefit, but also this digital nomad concept. And I think Michigan is seeing that trend, folks that see the opportunity to work from a more remote location, leave the city for, a few weeks or a month. And the stat here from AirDNA, we just call it year over year for May and June, overall US vacation rental bookings were up 20%. So this is us. We're taking those three trends and road mapping. What are the priorities? What content do we need to put in place to help people? We have our weekly blog articles. We also are working on a business directory, which you see here, so that folks can easily come and get a sense of, if they're looking for help in a certain area, what vendors or service providers are available. Then we have what happens once you join. So this is inside the network, inside the community. And when you join, you can see here we organize topics. We did a survey actually to a Michigan audience in partnership with Vrolio, and house cleaning and maintenance rose to the top. And it is, with COVID, a top priority for folks. And so under a house cleaning and maintenance section, we have experts who partner with us to continue to keep this content fresh, as well as some of the standards from other industry associations and committees that have come together on house cleaning standards. From here, the other really large offering is, once you become a member, you can take part in our free 1-week power courses. So power courses are designed by bringing together a committee of experts who lay out the curriculum and give you that high-level view of what do you need to know about this topic. We just finished up how to price, and then we're headed in next week to our tech toolbox, learning about both marketing and operations technology platforms to create efficiency and higher profitability. And then from here, I'm going to hand it over to Larry. And at this point, we're going to dive deeper on Michigan overall.
Thanks, Heather. As Heather touched upon, it's been certainly a great story for Michigan compared to the rest of the market. While COVID-19 has had a devastating impact on the global tourism industry, Michigan has actually been performing quite well all summer. This isn't that surprising given how the benefits of pure Michigan with vast outdoor spaces and activities provide an escape for cities and suburb residents within driving distance. With this data that AirDNA gave us, it's actually quite interesting. If you see that it's outperformed 2019 levels all summer. One of the things I find actually really interesting is, if you look at the month of August, the increase in rate has actually increased. So as homeowners have seen all summer, the demand has really been extraordinary, and homeowners are having a hard time actually finding homes for their dates. So homeowners actually have gotten more confident and increased their rates, which is a great thing that they've been able to respond to the demand. We don't have the September data yet, but anecdotally, we really expect to see this trend continue. While demand usually drops dramatically after Labor Day, we've seen travelers' pent-up demand kind of extend that travel window, and also to travel when they might not have thought to travel in Michigan during the fall or winter. We're expecting that we're going to see more people continue to escape, even though it's not prime season. Similarly, we also have seen shorter booking window with uncertainty. People have not been booking, so there's certainly an opportunity to capture business in the short term, and also to consider how to balance that with demand for next season. But another thing to notice is that while these trends have been true for most of the traditional leisure destinations in Michigan, it's not necessarily been the case in all markets. So while lake houses might be doing well, city apartments in Detroit or Ann Arbor might be having a harder time and seeing trends more similar to other markets.
Yeah, it's almost the social distancing score. A home versus a condo is a trend that shows up across the country when you look at the stats. That if you said, oh, this home gives you the ability to more easily social distance, it's more appealing to consumers. So just another factor that's showing up. Shall I move to the next slide?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I just
Yep.
I want to introduce Melissa, reintroduce Melissa back from Vrolio to talk about her experience as both as a homeowner and as her work with Vrolio.
Okay, thank you. And I will say that in our market is in South Haven, Michigan, and in Southwest Michigan, and I would agree with the trends that the AirDNA has showed on the charts with that market. We've been doing vacation rentals in that area for 13 years, and this is our best fall season that we've seen for occupancy levels. So we're really excited about that. It was really unknown in the springtime when the quarantine hit what the market was going to do. So we're excited that people are still looking to travel and like you said, get out and enjoy the outdoors and be social distanced in a beautiful scenic place like that along the lake with sand dunes and woods and all the nice stuff that they could do outside. A little bit about me. My background's actually in social work. My husband and I purchased our first short-term vacation rental when we got married in 2007. We added a second one in 2013, and we're currently constructing a purpose-built vacation rental home in that same area. We began that process before COVID hit, and then we were a little uncertain about what was going to happen, as I mentioned, but luckily with the trends that are occurring now, we hope that it will continue to be successful in that area. My experience grew while I was a vacation rental owner and manager, and I was looking to take another step in the industry, and that's when I became more involved with Vrolio. And as I mentioned, it's a marketplace that connects the buyers and sellers of short-term vacation rental properties. If I'll put my email in the conversation here on the side, if anybody wants to contact me with any questions about our marketplace. I'm excited to be here with ASTRHO today. I do think it's something that's been needed in the industry for a long time. It's a great resource for homeowners of short-term rental properties. Obviously there's the bigger organizations for property managers, but for us who are managing our own properties, short-term rental properties, this is a great resource. They've really done a great job putting together all the educational resources and connecting the homeowners. So thank you for that, ASTRHO. And does anybody have any questions about anything with vacation rentals?
Yeah, feel free to use that chat, and we can come back too if you can't think of anything at this moment.
During our journey, since we did start in 2007, the industry has changed a lot. We started with a lot of word of mouth, being able to book via word of mouth, and VRBO was starting, and that was before DNA got off the ground. Airbnb got off the ground, and so we used to actually mail out keys to our guests and have them leave them at the house. And now, since the industry's progressed to a lot more automation, we're able to use codes for the locks and do a lot of contactless guest check in and check out, and we've been able to automate a lot more of our bookings through channel manager software, which we used to do, pencil and paper on computer spreadsheets before when we first started. So it's really interesting how the industry's really evolved. I'm really excited to see, where it goes. So it's been great. And I'm in, like I said, I'm in Southwest Michigan. I have Sarah Pitt here. She's up in Northern Michigan with her rentals. She owns a cabin there, which is just gorgeous. And she owns her own design business in the Chicago suburbs. So, that's going to be a great guest experience in her cabin. And if we're ready, we can let Sarah talk about her market.
Thanks, Melissa. So I am now a vacation home owner. That's not something I ever thought I would do. I had seen Melissa and her husband doing it It worked really well for them, and with children at home and doing my design work, I thought like, there's no way, I just don't have time for this. But then, like Melissa said, the automation became key to making everything work. It made it a lot less hands-on for me, a lot more manageable for me. Um, and it also became a thing where my husband always has his eyes set on investment opportunities. And this was just one of those that we couldn't pass up once we found this home. Like Melissa said, I'm in northern Michigan, almost up in the UP. We have skiing, so it's a year-round rental. We have attractions. Summer we're near Lake Michigan. The home is located on a golf course. There's lots of reasons for people to book in our area. I think as a homeowner renting, you come across a lot of small hurdles. Like the first one for me would have been finding somebody I can trust to take care of my home when I'm not there. The first person being, finding a professional cleaning company that you can count on, that's going to do detailed work, that's going to make sure that it looks great for every renter. The second part would be a groundskeeper, and I luckily found one that I fully trust that's there to go above and beyond. So those are two of the key things where you kind of need somebody with like hands on deck for you, especially when you don't live near the home. And then the rest of the time you have your automation for keyless entry and booking online, never having to handle any money. Everything's done transactionally online. One unique situation that we just found ourselves in actually is that we have an HOA in our neighborhood. The HOA just recently decided to rewrite the bylaws, and within that, they kind of snuck in an amendment that would ban short-term rentals. So my husband and I were both completely shocked by that. And so we're currently in a situation of trying to figure out how to handle it. Legally, we found out that we really don't have any action that we can take. We have never had complaints from anyone in our neighborhood about our rental. So currently the permanent residents there and those on the board would rather keep this neighborhood their own little secret hidden treasure, and keep it quiet and private. So currently our fate is going to be left up to the vote of the neighborhood. We have spoken to a few people in the neighborhood, and the public golf course owner is also a resident. He's on our side. He obviously profits greatly from our renters because a large majority of our renters are golf groups that are coming and using his golf course. And so we're kind of crossing our fingers for those votes. My husband's been in a lot of conversations. We're also looking at the possibility of being grandfathered in through that bylaw. So in being in the middle of that right now, in hindsight, in order to prevent some of this, some things that we may have done differently as homeowners would be that we feel like we could have become more involved with our neighbors. Once we go up there, we kind of keep to ourselves and we enjoy the seclusion and kind of turning off and not being a part of anything, and the homes are kind of far apart. So we feel like we should have possibly made our presence known to the neighbors a little bit more and kind of developed that relationship with our neighbors. We also feel that we should have taken on a leadership role on the HOA board. That opportunity had presented itself, but we just felt like there wasn't really a need for us to be a part of it. We weren't there full time, and we didn't really have the time to spare. So another thing that we would like to have done is to invest in the neighborhood and make our intentions known that we were renting. We had warned the board, we had told the board that we planned on renting. They seemed to have no issue with it, no problem, but we didn't go any further. We didn't talk to any neighbors. We didn't really continue that conversation. We kind of felt like that communication was just going to flow through on its own, and that was a mistake on our part. We did impose rules, very strong rules in our rental agreement in order for renters to be respectful to the neighborhood and the neighbors in the golf course. One of those rules that we imposed was that if for any reason the police were called or a neighbor complained about noise or any other issue, that the renter's deposit would be immediately withheld. And we never had to do that. We've never had anyone come to us and no one complained. So we've never had to do that. But our intention in keeping that deposit from renters was also to reinvest it into the neighborhood, to give that to the HOA in order for them to decide whether to decrease fees for everyone in the neighborhood or use it to add something else to the community. But again, it was our mistake in thinking that that communication was going to be shared throughout the neighborhood from the board, where it was kind of just kept to the board. So I know that's kind of a lot.
No, that was so great, Sarah. Thank you for sharing. And these types of things are happening all the time, all over the country. And it is, all the points you made are really relevant and important. And managing the size of the conversation, but that you can reflect on like the best practices and how to be a responsible short-term rental homeowner, and the benefits to the community. And I think it was so important for you to share the story, and that you're in the middle of it right now in this hard moment, and really appreciating you taking a minute to talk about that. And I don't know if there are any questions for Sarah. Maybe we can keep moving. There is a tie to the real estate side too. I think will be interesting to talk to Ryan about, and the home values, or just that kind of that piece of the conversation as well. If that's all right, is that all right if we move on? Mm-hmm. And then we can certainly come back to our questions for Sarah.
Sure.
Okay.
And Melissa, I'll let you introduce Ryan. And
So Ryan Servatius, he's as mentioned, award-winning realtor in Southwest Michigan. He's also a short-term rental homeowner and manager himself. He's very active in the South Haven community with a Facebook page that regularly updates his followers with videos and scenery and properties that are for sale or events in the community. He specializes in this vacation rental market, and I'll leave it up to him to talk a little bit more about his point of view, and maybe even about the regulations that South Haven has put in place, so we can see the difference between an area like where Sarah's at that's unregulated and now trying to do regulations, whereas South Haven has over the years evolved and has made some regulations for short-term rental homeowners, and also about the real estate market. So go ahead, Brian.
Great. Thank you very much, Melissa.
Yes.
Sarah, you're right. You've got to be careful because, like in all of our markets lately, we're seeing a lot of, if it's not municipalities, HOAs. You just need one person to plant the seed that short-term rental people are bad and are transient, and they're going to trash the place, which we're not seeing. We're seeing 99.9% of our rentals are family-based, if not just here empty nesters to enjoy in South Haven the outdoors. It's a very outdoor centric area, whether you're going to be on the lake, trails, or anything like that brings people in. But we fought hard, Melissa, and you know that, and your husband do, from years for South Haven to keep our rentals, because we had certain people who believed that the short-term rental market was going to take away from the full-time people who want to live here, and it drove the prices so high it was unaffordable for the average homeowner. Well, it wasn't that. It was this lack of inventory because we're a small resort town. Well, we fought for about 2.5 years to save the property right owners with the municipalities, worked with them. We are now regulated. We do annual checks, which I do agree with. So we know which property manager within 45 minutes to an hour of said property, and who they can contact if there is an emergency on hand. The surrounding townships, we've had to the north do the same thing, up to Saugatuck, Douglas. I still believe Holland is not rental friendly, and neither is downtown St. Joe, unless your grandfather did down in the Silver Beach area. But from what we're seeing on a value factor, when you go to purchase a home or sell a home, when you have something set up like that, so a deed restriction is pretty much, I would clarify it as, is what you're looking at. If you're going to buy a home, the homeowner may not want to rent out their home, but they want the ability to have that option if something changes in their life. One thing we noticed in the great downturn of 2008, 2009 through 2010 was certain homeowners saved their home by renting it out to short-term people here in South Haven area. They would have lost their home if they didn't have the ability to do that when people lost their jobs or just needed extra income to come in to cover the bills. So that's one thing to think about. So when a buyer comes to me, here's our average thing. I'll start this way. Someone comes to me and they rent from me, or they rent from Melissa or someone other place, and they've done it about 3 or 4 years. They brought their family up, their parents or their friends. About the 4th years, when we see someone go, hey, you know what? I've done this 4 years. It's a great area. Why don't we buy a home and turn it into a rental? We'll use it when we want to, and then we're not using it, we'll rent it out, and we'll make some money to cover the taxes and pay down on the mortgage a little bit. So that has been a great tool for us. And usually September, October is our busiest time because the current homeowners have made all their rentals during the season and they're done. So they're ready to cash out, move on to the next part of their life. And then a new buyer comes in, they take it off season, get it ready through all winter. So it's ready to go into springtime for the next batch of renters that come in. This year with COVID, we were a little scared because everything was booked up last fall, last winter. And then everything, when COVID hit, everything canceled. I'm sure you guys may have saw that too. But once we got into May and everything opened up again, we immediately booked overnight. Everything was booked up and we're still full because people aren't going home. So now we're living in a different market where are the people going to continue to stay up here and work from home because they've got their phone and their laptop and they can, and not go back to the big cities where they feel it's a little bit safer here, more rural, not as many people for density, which is driving our values too and keeping our short-term rentals long, way past our normal season, which pretty much is the Chicago school season. It's pretty much the summer, 12 weeks, and then once Labor Day hits, it's back to normal. We put, winter residents in there to just watch the homes during the winter until the next time our next season starts. I know I'm rambling a lot about this, but there's so much to talk about on short-term rentals up and down our shoreline here, from policies to values of the homes, and then what we're seeing on our market. So there is 500, I believe, Melissa, you might know the real number. I think it's 510 available short-term rental certificates. And I believe right now the city is hovering at 471 that have been taken. And it's been hovering that way for the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. All I know is there's a couple left because I have to wait till my house is built in order to get one.
That's the thing too. A lot of people, when they buy a home here, they're like, oh, I can transfer this over. I explained to them, no, you can't transfer it. But once you close on it, you can go get one. And City Hall has been great. They've been very good to work with for all of our clients when they want to add a rental certificate to them and then get the annual inspection done. So, is anyone else seeing, Sarah, are you seeing, do you guys have annual inspections up where you're at up north?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no regulations where we are. I checked everything. The only thing I'm doing is, paying a Michigan state tax.
That's nice. We started out, Melissa, maybe you remember, we started out with a $20 a year rental fee, and it quickly, when they realized how much it costs to do everything, we went to a $500 a year rental fee. So city's making pretty good profit off of that right now. Do you guys have any questions about what we're seeing in our market along the shoreline, or?
If there's anything in the chat. That was great, Ryan. Thank you so much. And it's really helpful to talk to a real estate agent like yourself. And it really brings to light how, working with an agent who has this knowledge and understanding is so critical as folks are looking to find properties where they can, use it as an investment property as a short-term rental. So thanks for that.
I'll add one more thing to it. If you in your area are having an issue where maybe the municipality or the association is thinking about having a meeting of going anti-rental, have your realtor or whoever your representative is at your local association work with them. Show them the real stats. We were lucky enough when we went through ours, Airbnb was a great resource for us. Also, I did a couple of speaking sessions for the resort and second home community specialist for the National Association of Realtors. And there's a great report they did from Robinson and Cole. That's a 164-page report that shows what true values and resources are either added to or taken away from short-term rentals throughout America and different communities. Very interesting report and very worth your read.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ryan. We have connected with NAR and that second home focus they have. So that's interesting. That's a good point. That could be a resource. And good positive note about Airbnb. We're also talking to them and that team to figure out how we can try to help raise awareness and bring that education, just like you said, like, what do you do, and help members like Sarah know what to do and how to get help. So,
and if anybody wants our contact for the Airbnb, just let me know. Get a hold of me afterwards, and I will send you over our contact information to the rep.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. That's great. Yeah, really helpful.
And that's one thing Vrolio does is we connect with realtors who know the short-term rental markets, so that when people are looking for a short-term rental property, like Ryan mentioned, it's really important to be connected with a realtor who understands that market and knows the rental-friendly areas and can guide people to the right properties for rentals.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're at our time, but I feel like this is such valuable, important information, and really talking it through to help people understand what they can do, how to, from the investment stage to when you're talking to your HOA. We're continuing these road shows. We're going to make our next stop in Arizona. So, even connecting folks from state to state, could be an opportunity as we find similar problems and things like that, talking to folks. So we'll just quickly try to close with just a little bit more on our education. This slide just shows, where we're partnering with other thought leaders and events in the short-term rental space to make sure we bring back information to our members or work to get, discounted passes to different shows or opportunities for our members. And then, as we, mentioned, the lodging associations here on the left, how we can, get resources across all of lodging. We've got interest from academia, which is really exciting. We've got Penn State working on a formal research paper. They're from an academia standpoint, seeing the need to help support and educate on this important segment in the lodging industry. We continue to try to work with and talk to figure out how to support other local associations that are in cities across the country. And there are a lot of them. This was just one we found for Michigan. And then obviously advocacy, thought leadership, and media, and making sure, we're engaging in conversations where these conversations are happening with consultants and other experts. So I'll let Larry just wrap this up with our agenda and kind of, for those of you that are interested to learn more, this is what's on our agenda here at ASTRHO.
Yep. In the interest of time, I won't go through all of these events, but I did want to just draw particular attention to the two power courses. We have the technology one that comes up on October 14th, and then the dates to be announced for our investment and strategy and financial tools power course in December. And these are really great. We partner with industry leaders to provide this world-class education that is totally free to our members once you join, and really valuable.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks so much, Larry. Just the idea that we're not claiming to be the experts on everything. Our role is to bring the experts together to produce and provide the most, best-in-class content on these certain topics. So this this is how you can follow us, find us, talk to us, and then I'll stop sharing here and see. It looks like there was some chat. So yeah, thanks for including your email, Ryan and Melissa. And
yeah, that was me.
Any last notes? Sarah, thanks again for sharing your story. I think that will really help others. And again, this is recorded, so we'll continue to share it and promote it. And great to meet you, Ryan and Sarah. And we'll sign off from there. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you very much, everyone.
For your time so much.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.